I'd like to zoom back into the Philippines. We're talking about the state of the nation after the first half of the president's term. From your point of view, we talked about the president speaking in hyperbole with exaggerated words and sometimes joking about shooting drug suspects or even at one time threatening human rights groups. Have you noticed any change in the public, in the way the public views the issue or the concept of human rights in the president's first half of his term?
I guess the public is divided. No? There is, of course, a significant section of the community that believes that these are important values and should be protected and defended. But there's also a segment of the community that maybe at best still needs to fully understand and grasp this. No? So, for example, every time there's a crime, you always hear, saan ang CHR?
Yeah.
You know, but actually, we're not a police enforcement, a law enforcement institution. We're a monitoring institution. We're supposed to cooperate with the executive department in ensuring that human rights are protected. But there's always that narrative that basically says...
Namimili raw kayo.
Oo, but we don't. No? And ultimately, kasi the words matter, even if it's hyperbole. When the president makes harsh words regarding human rights, this impacts on the, in a sense, the atmosphere. No? And he, through his words, enables, these violations to continue, especially after those words, nothing's ever done about the violators. That's why it's important to always remind all our government officials, from the president down, that we have a constitution that should always be upheld in all respects, in all areas, whether it's about the territory, about sovereignty, about checks and balances, separation of powers, or about human rights. We need to uphold our constitution regardless of who our leaders are.
Well, I ask about that because I've also noticed in the last 3 years, you would have people asking or accusing human rights groups of being cuddlers of rapists and drug lords. And I mean, I'm not just talking about social media. I've also read of officials using that same narrative. Na kayo mga human rights groups, kayo mga cuddler kayo ng rapists.
Yan ang sinasabi ni Presidente. What about the rights of the victims and all the, well, the President also says, what about the policemen who are getting killed in law enforcement?
Everyone has rights. No? Victims of violent crime have rights, but also suspected criminals have rights. And it's the duty of the state to ensure that all rights of all people are protected all the time. So that's why when there is a crime, the police must investigate. So aside from the 6,600, for example, that were killed by the police, admitted by them themselves in legitimate police operations, as they call it, there are the others that have been killed, yung mga tinapon na lang sa bangketa, at iba pa, that also require and demand investigation. No? Plus, of course, the victims of criminals. All of them are the duty of the state. We have to send a signal to the people that we will draw the line on violence, and that any perpetrator of violence, whether they're private individuals or public officials, will be held accountable. That's a true system of a rule of law, that no one is above the law.